Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Breath of the Wild at Any Percent Tournament Losers Bracket Round 1 between Lumina and ReThorix. Here on commentary, we have Crazy AZ. Say hello, Crazy.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all having a good Thursday. Welcome all to the first match of our Losers Bracket for this Breath of the Wild 90% tournament. The format of this tournament is double elimination. And so every runner gets at least 2 matches to make it in the tournament. And both of these runners did not quite win their matches in the first round, but they are here to start their Losers Bracket campaign. Lumina is probably our favored seed coming into this. He was actually upset in the first round. Originally favored in the 14th seed, while ReThorix came in as our 30th seed and lost to Wolhike Song. And be interesting to see how they play today. Do think it's really cool in this tournament that we provide for the double elimination format. Because, things happen in speedruns, and sometimes a run just doesn't go your way. And not, having someone be eliminated on a single poor performance is pretty cool. And in fact,
runners are off now, by the way.
Yes. We see this nice intro cutscene. In fact, the losers bracket is very important, as last year it allowed player 5 who got eliminated in the second round of winners to come all the way back and win the whole thing. So, it's a great format of the tournament. Admittedly, it does make it take longer, but I think it adds a lot. Getting the beautiful intro cutscene that we get every time we start a new run. Nice minute 7 seconds to relax.
Can you explain to me why they are playing in French?
Yes, they're playing in French because it is the fastest language specifically for the any percent category. The timing on languages in Breath of the Wild is based off of voice acting and the cutscenes with voice acting that we encounter. So there's 2 different spots where Zelda is going to talk to us in this run. Right here when getting the Sheikah Slate. And also right after we grab the axe, she's going to go tell Link to activate the tower, which he does not listen to. And among those 2 cutscenes, the French voice actor for Zelda is the fastest. We see runners here picking up the Sheikah Slate, which they are going to use pretty much just once here at the beginning. Well, I guess unless you count runes. In order to do a scope clip. This gets them out of the Shrine of Resurrection without having to watch the cutscenes, the sort of intro cutscenes that the game intends you to do. Well, very nice. They both get it pretty much in sync. And this both skips some long cutscenes, as well as having the added benefit of not activating the time of day and weather cycle for the game. The developers wanted the intro cutscene to always occur at 5:15 in the morning and beautifully sunny, no matter how long you spent getting out of the Shrine of Resurrection. And so the weather and time do not start until we watch those intro cutscenes, which we will not be doing for any percent.
And we whistle through here to get our stamina back, right?
Yes, basically the easiest glitch you can pull off in this game is whistle sprinting. If you hold down the whistle button and mash B to sprint, you're able to sprint at about 80% speed while still gaining back your stamina. So runners will be alternating between regular sprinting and whistle sprinting in order to go as fast as possible. Both of our runners here have picked up the pot lid as their shield of choice, as well as the axe. And both of them also picked up some backup food, just in case, this upcoming Boko camp or something, they take an extra hit. They would rather not die. Just takes a couple of seconds to pick up that extra food.
I do like
Lumina's
this
gonna go.
shield surfing in this game.
Yeah, it's a very fun mechanic. See them opting for different sides of climbing up this cliff. I know Lumina likes to run the right side Boko camp, which is not so popular nowadays, but they're pretty equivalent. Cleanly done, and it looks like Lumina's even going to get a fast climb. Oh, not quite. Still relatively fast. He's also going to go for the skew spot that is out here on the snow. That's mainly a thing people use for Boko shield at the moment, because landing on the skew doesn't take a durability off your shield. The pot lid is pretty durable, so it's not as much of a worry. Actually, it looks like he didn't really get skew, so he's going to go get it on the shrine anyways. ReThorix does get it on the shrine, lining up for the stasis clip, and manages to clip in.
Just a heads up, you're about 2 seconds ahead.
Oh, cool. Lumina having to get skew again. Also, I believe ReThorix was racing no amiibo during the qualifiers. Is that still the case for the bracket?
Yes, he's going to be running no amiibo.
Okay. So we're going to see some slight differences between the routes that our runners take as a result of that. Lumina is going to be running with amiibos, and will likely scan them either right after stasis or possibly in castle.
So what's the advantage of the amiibos?
The amiibos are still RNG, but they basically you can drop a lot of fish from the sky, and we're looking for 2 different attack up fish to help us make a attack up food that greatly speeds up the boss rush at the end of the game. And each amiibo drops like I want to say like 6 to 8 fish, and when you scan, like 4 or 5 of them, obviously you want to scan as few as possible. The chances that you get enough of the attack up fish it gets pretty high. By contrast, the no amiibo route has to get these attack up ingredients from elsewhere in the castle, and depending on the route that ReThorix takes, this might even involve smashing a crate for an RNG banana, which has significantly lower odds than the amiibos do.
You mean the good almighty banana?
Yep. The latest route for any percent no amiibo actually manages to avoid this RNG banana, but at the expense of some pretty difficult out of bounds movement that I don't think anyone's practiced that heavily yet outside of the world record holder, player 5. So, but we'll likely see more of that coming, but I'm not sure if that's the route that ReThorix is going to be taking. Both of our runners here, pretty close in sync, talking up to the old man. And I expect Lumina will scan the amiibos here, but as long as you scan them sometime before the cooking happens in castle, you'll be fine. Doing them early here is generally a strategy in, PB attempt runs, where if you happen to not get enough fish, you'd like to know early in order to reset. I also feel like for races, it's just nice. The fish can provide some extra backup food, which you might as well have early, because who knows when you're going to need it. Lumina manages to get the fish he needs on 2 amiibo scans. That's pretty nice. While ReThorix is doing their first BTB. And it looks good. Bullet time bounces are the major movement glitch that we exploit for any percent. Exploiting the fact that the game doesn't quite know how to handle exiting the slowdown of bullet time in some cases. In this case, we exploit bouncing with our shield off of a ragdolling enemy and then exiting the bullet time to get a 20 times speed up and go flying.
So despite ReThorix being ahead right now, because Illumina did the amiibos, it's hard to tell which one's really ahead, right?
Yeah, I would expect ReThorix is still ahead, although losing skew on that clip like Lumina did on the last shrine, will probably pretty much even them up.
Sorry about my 10 million questions. It's so I can help for future commentary.
Absolutely. Helps me have something to run off of. See if Lumina goes for the same clip that ReThorix did, or looks like he's going to opt for an ESC. This is an extended shield clip. It's a frame perfect trip, so it is harder than the traditional clips. And it's really only done for Cryonis, but in Cryonis it does save about 7 seconds if you pull it off perfectly.
Got it nicely.
Lumina did. Yeah.
So how do you prevent the damage from falling? I would think Lumina would take damage from that height they dropped from.
Yeah, so the way we perform fall damage cancels in this run is you perform a fall damage cancel by grounding Link in midair and essentially resetting the game's counter for where he's falling from. This is done by starting the animation for throwing your axe and then unequipping it before it is actually thrown. The game gets kind of confused and considers Link grounded despite being up in the air and resets that fall meter.
ReThorix missing the skip, the early skip for Cryosis.
True, and Lumina manages to get it. That's about a 7-second time save as well, and will make them quite close. With, of course, the caveat that Lumina also scanned amiibos already.
Yeah, ReThorix will have to get his food inside the castle still.
Absolutely. It's worth noting, we didn't mention it earlier with the no amiibo discussion, but the no amiibo runners do get an extra 35 and a quarter second taken off for doing no amiibo, just to admit that there are some, the route differences. It's pretty clear that amiibo is faster. This is a pretty pivotal BTB on the plateau. Getting an ideal angle is very fast, whereas but also quite tricky, whereas getting a suboptimal angle can lose you, anywhere up to 40 seconds for having to jog. Looks like ReThorix is coming up a bit short of where he would want to be. This is sort of a far forest angle. So probably on the order of, depending on how good this stasis launch on the tree is, it'll probably be like, around a 30-second time loss. Lumina does manage to get a pretty nice angle on his BTB. Clearly a little worried about his shield durability. I don't think he would otherwise do the durability cancel there, but we know he did have some trouble at stasis, so probably just being careful with that. And with that better BTB, Lumina is now pretty decisively ahead.
So we use arrows to shoot the projectiles in the way we want, like the tree and the rock earlier. Yeah,
it just basically you can add as much momentum to something with stasis as you want hitting it any direction, but the direction that it actually flies will be determined by the last hit. And so arrows are just a really nice way to aim it.
ReThorix now getting into the temple too.
And runners are working on the Magnesis shrine, which is the third out of the 4 shrines that we have to complete on the Great Plateau to really complete the tutorial section of the game, from which point in any percent we go just straight to the end castle.
Now will the little sentinel shoot at us?
Those guys are pretty ineffective. They only deal a quarter heart of damage. So mainly they're just a time loss from interrupting the running, rather than being an actual danger to kill you.
Yeah, I was listening on one commentary, and they were trying to name it Greg the Guardian.
I believe that is a name known in some chats. ReThorix managing to avoid getting shot there. And Lumina is now he's got up for a slab launch here. This is one of those strats that, is slightly slower than the optimal strat by a few seconds, but tends to be the strat most people learn first, as it's a little more consistent than the box walk. And so, particularly if Lumina, runners are allowed to watch their opponents in this tournament format, and so it's possible he's looking and seeing that he's ahead and just wants to go with the slightly safer strategy, and manages to pull off a nice BTB there.
One of the very few tournaments I see where you can actually watch your opponent.
Yeah, there's no real secret information to be gained in here, unlike sort of the randomizers. So, yeah. We saw there, that was ReThorix actually going for the box walk and not quite getting it. Box walk is a much more finicky trick. Not that it's inconsistent, but the number of things you have to get right to do it are definitely higher than with the slab launch. And so going for slab launch as a backup.
There are Breath of the Wild randomizers, but not this tournament.
No, and the randomizer is still something I think is kind of in its infancy with Breath of the Wild. We don't have the way to it's with some self-imposed rules and such. I've heard they're fun. But
ReThorix missing the BTB, by the way.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like he bullet timed a little late, and so if you don't hit the Boko in the right spot, you don't get the necessary bounce.
So it's just quicker to run after that?
Yeah, you'd basically have to reload if you wanted to try again. I think they're pretty equivalent. The bombs BTB is already you're pretty dependent on manipulation of the Boko's behaviors. And so as soon as you've attempted it once, any kind of manipulation is out the window. The other, this is an added benefit of doing taking that run on no amiibo, is actually you can pick up a beetle here instead of later. That's not quite a static beetle spawn, but is a significantly higher chance than the RNG beetle that he would otherwise pick up after this shrine.
Alright, the bomb shrine is fairly quick too.
It is, and we didn't quite talk about what happened, but it getting the bomb rune introduces the other major movement glitch that we use in Breath of the Wild, which is wind bombs, where we again exploit bullet time in order to drop 2 bombs and explode the first one to send the second one into Link's back and propelling him forward. It's definitely useful in any %, but it really shines in the longer categories where it allows you to, set up launches basically anywhere where you can get bullet time, which is anywhere there's a little ledge to jump off of. And we see Lumina pulling off another nice one there to the tree. Oh, he's not going to get the tree launch, unfortunately. That is a deceptively tricky trick to pull off. Getting Link to climb onto the tree after having pulled off all the double hits necessary. Oh, and ReThorix hits Gamer Wind Bomb, which is a slightly trickier wind bomb setup in order to land all the way up where the monk is. And that saves a good couple of seconds. If you can hit it, it is much harder, and so people tend to not go for it, except at the highest level, and even then, it's something of a dice roll.
Lumina getting the backup tree strat, though.
It does. And yeah, Lumina coming in with a low 17-minute plateau time, according to our leaderboard timing, which is certainly quite good, though I would expect he probably wishes it were slightly faster. Does not manage to get the castle BTB, and so it is going to go for a backup, which people have actually dubbed the Lumina backup. He was the first to sort of show this backup of doing a bow lift smuggle slide out of a failed castle BTB attempt. And this is really the latest major glitch that has been found in Breath of the Wild. And it's pretty cool. It allows us to really just sort of fly infinitely by exploiting some funky collision with Link holding items in a weird bow smuggle state.
So there's the difference between the two bombs in this backup too.
Yeah, and it's based off of because it's weird hitbox interactions. Oh no, ReThorix falls through the roof in the castle in the Temple of Time. That is a shame.
Oof.
Yeah, so because it's a hitbox interaction, Lumina gets a loaded gate. Man, both of our runners having a rough time. The game not being nice to them at all here.
Welcome, Smitchin, with a rating party of 51.
Alrighty, we see Lumina is swapping his shield back and forth there in order to try and get this cutscene to load in faster. Unfortunately, the gate loading in there is just a real tough, basically RNG element to this run, where we try and get to castle fast enough that it's not loaded in. But occasionally, the game will load in. And ReThorix falling through the roof for a second time. Ooh, manages to avoid the death, but that's gonna be an unfortunate time loss having to climb up.
Lumina getting the clip though, nice and quick.
Yeah, he does. We see here he's gonna ragdoll as a result of having done that clip. There's an interesting sort of ragdoll glitch state that you can end up in where Link doesn't, after performing a clip, doesn't take ragdoll damage properly, and it messes with the wind bombs. So by sort of flopping over on his shield there, you're able to clear that ragdoll state and ensure that your next wind bomb will succeed.
ReThorix finally getting to the king.
He's going to get his paraglider and be on his way to the castle. And we'll see where he lands, and that will determine which no amiibo route he is going after. Yes, Lumina we saw opt for the Fang. The Dragon Fang is a item that you can throw into your attack up potion, and it'll ensure that you get at least a 13-minute timer on the attack up, which basically guarantees that you have enough to do the boss rush, 5 times over. Basically, just a nice, safety strat in the run, or particularly for a tournament play, just in case something goes wrong in the fights. You don't have to worry about your attack up running too low and not being able to finish them. All right, and we see ReThorix going over to the same gate that Lumina went for, which means that they are going for the latest no amiibo route, which is very cool to see. Does manage to get the loaded gate in this case, which is a nice little chunk of time save over what Lumina had to do with the ESC to clip in.
Lumina choosing to go with the 6 ancient arrows instead of just the 3.
Yes, I think that's people have been doing a mixture of that throughout this tournament. I think it really comes down to, what you're most comfortable with and what you've practiced. The time difference, as far as I think people consider there to be about a 20-second time difference, but that the 6 ancient arrow is definitely the easier one to execute. So it's certainly what I've been preferring in the tournament races, and just my PB attempts in general. But people who have been, going for PBs with the 3 ancient arrows are, that's what they've practiced, and they're gonna go for that in the tournament. And we see Lumina has now collected everything he needs to go face these bosses in the boss rush. At this point, it would really take a death in the boss rush for ReThorix to catch up. But, don't wish that on any of our runners, but it just does happen. The practicality is that these boss rushes are hard, and people spend a lot of time practicing them.
Lumina is setting up to do the skip for the first guy, though.
He is. He's going to try and skip one blight. Yeah, I think there's a good chance Lumina does know that he's ahead at this moment. We saw that he picked up 2 extra backup shields, going for a safety save here, grabbed the Dragon Fang. He's taken a lot of the safety strats to ensure that, hopefully this fight does go his way, even if somewhat slower. And, as we see ReThorix managing to get the clip out of bounds that the latest No Amiibo route does. And he's going to go clip it back in near the armory in order to grab the rest of his weapons and then go up to the dining hall to collect the static Mighty Banana and static Razor Shroom necessary for the No Amiibo route to avoid having to do any RNG attack up items.
And Lumina was successful in the skip, by the way. That was nice.
ReThorix, we see picking up Moblin Guts in order to, when you make a potion, he's going to make a potion as opposed to food as a result of picking up the beetle. You need both sort of like a bug item and a monster part item in order to make an elixir. Water Blight gets up early there for Lumina. That's going to be a little funky. He didn't get in all the hits he would want to, and it means he's gonna have to do them now. But it's gonna mean something kind of weird for his durability on his weapons. Hopefully, just this last arrow shot. I think with this last arrow shot, he may have actually pulled that off perfectly and be sort of back to standard durability. But that's kind of odd. As we see ReThorix cooking their elixir.
Fire Blight here can be trolly too.
Yeah. He went for a bit of a high roller strat and put in an extra spin, just in case, to try and see if he could, not have to do a hit, and Fire Blight got away. Should be fine though. He had backup food for when he got hit by that attack. We see ReThorix. ReThorix with a very clean castle after, getting the paraglider was a bit of a struggle, but the rest of this castle, first try castle BTB, all of that looked very clean. Not quite managed to get the one cycle on Fire Blight. Lumina having to do one extra hit there. And now on to Thunderblade.
I will say, when I played the game the first time through on Breath of the Wild, Thunderblade was my most painful boss.
Absolutely. I think that is the case for most, casual playthroughs. And to be honest, Thunderblade is also significantly harder when faced on his own territory in the actual dungeon that you're intended to face him in. The lack of terrain in this sanctum definitely sort of helps us out here in making the fight more consistent. Plus also all the much better weapons that you likely have in this speedrun than as opposed to when you showed up casually.
ReThorix getting the wind bite skip as well. First try.
And we see Lumina about to finish off Thunderblade and start on Calamity. Which is really, sort of the make it or break it spot of this run. See him using in 6 Ancient Arrow. The fight generally starts off by unloading all 6 of those arrows right into Ganon's face. He's opting not to do a Flurry Rush out of that. The Flurry Rush is optimal, but is definitely something I think most people find more consistent. Though, of course, if he hasn't practiced that, then maybe it's not as consistent for him. Oh my, that was scary. The laser looks like it just missed. So luckily he did not die, getting a second chance at getting this parry.
The game is nice enough to give you weapons inside this fight, too.
It does, which is, we definitely take advantage of both the 10 bomb arrows that it gives, as well as the Royal Claymore. And Lumina is now on to the second phase. Ooh, Calamity going straight to the wall there. That's pretty mean, but hopefully he gives Lumina something nice to parry, and he'll be able to start his... Oh my. All right, Lumina deciding to not even go for that wall laser parry. I don't blame him. It's definitely one of the trickier things to parry off the wall. Now getting quick lasered very fast. Luckily, because Lumina has picked up shields more durable than the Gauntlet, he's able to absorb the first couple of hits and then parry the last, or like one of the later ones. And he is now starting his stun lock. ReThorix starting Thunderblade. Nice Thunderblade phase 1, while Lumina is pulling off this stun lock. Pretty textbook. Getting in a good number of hits. Not quite as many as you could get optimally, but again, sort of taking a slightly safer route, making sure that he doesn't drop it at all, as that's sort of the one way you would lose. And at this point, manages to get through.
So on to Mighty Beast Ganon.
Mm-hmm. Yep. See how this fight, you know, is pretty much a formality. It's pretty hard to lose or gain much time in this fight. Although, you know, can be up to a couple of seconds. I'd say that the difference between someone who like really practices this fight and someone who just sort of does it casually is about 10 seconds or so, which is not nothing. One of the cool additions of the new way we fight Ganon is actually that you can end the fight with a broken, with your bow having broken, meaning that the you'll have no bow equipped when you go pick up the Bow of Light, and the game will automatically equip it for you. This allows for some audio cues when fighting Dark Beast to know exactly when the targets are going to show up, so you can shoot them as quick as possible. And this really, it was hard to do this before, because if you have to swap your bow, the music that plays continues to play during the menuing time of swapping the bow, but the target counter does not continue. And so you sort of desync when the targets are going to show up versus when the music. The ReThorix getting on to phase 2 of Calamity. Giving an attack first. Oh, did not quite get far enough away for Calamity to throw out a laser. Let's see, hopefully. Oh my, this is scary. This is very scary. Okay, does manage to get a laser. Had some backup food to avoid a death. Some indecisiveness on the weapon there, but opts for the 3 boomerang hits, and now going into the spin on the Claymore. I think ReThorix is confused, as am I, about the weapons still in their inventory. This Claymore is going to break. I wonder if they did not pick up the other Royal Claymore, as Lumina is getting ready to take the last shot.
No, I think he's
GG's
running over to grab it now, by the way.
Yep, he went and had to grab the other Claymore. It makes sense why that was confusing. Oh, I don't know if 2 hits of that is going to... Yeah, okay. I think, makes a smart choice not to land that second hit there, it is quite possible that that would not have worked for the stun lock. Man does not quite time the slam correctly there. Calamity managed to get up, but nicely gives another laser. Alright, ReThorix has managed to be pretty good at the parries, which is good. And hopefully now is just going to have a couple more spins and we'll finish off Calamity. Nicely done to ReThorix.
Okay, I'm gonna get Lumina in here for an interview.
Sounds good.
GG, Lumina.
Thank you.
GG's.
Yeah, and GG's Thor's getting through Calam. I was waiting for that to finish before I hopped in.
Cool. How'd you feel about your race?
It's an improvement from my last one, but I don't know what happened at Stasis. It kind of just fell apart to begin with. I lost so much time there, but after that, Plateau was really nice. And I, at that point, to see how close it was, I had quite a lead, so I just played it safe for the rest.
Yeah, we were wondering if you were watching, given some of the more safety choices you made.
I mean, I shouldn't really be going for safety strats for this tournament. I would have gone for the Bang, most likely, anyway. But, yeah, I just played a bit safe with everything else as a result.
Yep, picking up some extra shields.
I tried to roll extra... Yeah, I go for a couple extra shields. I usually do that. I also tried to roll a couple extra amiibo for hearty food, but I didn't get it, so... Just ended up with a lot of attack food instead.
Makes sense. Yep, your attack food was certainly not an issue.
Yep. Yeah, solid enough run.
Your plateau outside of the weirdness that was Stasis Clip was pretty solid.
Stasis Clip was just my muscle memory going bad. Like, I set a bad ski to begin with, that's just something that happens sometimes. But the input itself, that was just me having a bit of muscle memory issues.
Yep.
The after that, plateau was good, aside from me missing a tree rocket.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Castle B2B, I had to go for the backup, which is fine.
Seeing Lumina actually do the Lumina backup.
Yeah, I've got to advertise my strats, you know. Can't just
I've seen a lot of people use it in the tournament, so...
And good job on the first clip through the gate.
Yeah, if you know the setup for that gate clip is consistent, first try. As long as you can get the Yesy time.
I have given up on trying to do that gate clip. If the gate loads, I just run the
copium route. I can show it to you at some point. It's not too bad.
Well, that'd be nice.
It's a consistent setup, yeah.
Cool. And we see ReThorix getting ready to take the final shot on Dark Beast.
Yeah, GG's.
GG's to ReThorix.
GG. Gonna see. Yeah, here comes ReThorix for an interview.
Welcome
GG,
in, ReThorix. GG's.
Hello.
Ew. GG's on the race.
GG.
Any thoughts on your run?
Yeah, was a really, really shitty plateau. What else do I have to say? Castle was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Fights
Castle looked
were
really
fine.
good.
Yeah. Blights were fine. Calamity was kind of a mess too. So, don't know. I think I parried like 5 lasers.
Your parries were on point at least.
Yeah, and I also forgot the one claymore, which I just realized right before I started the stunlock. I was like, wait, that's the wrong one.
Right.
Good job noticing it instead of having that break on you mid spins.
Actually, I was kind of it was kind of nice from Ganon that he instantly threw another laser at me after I picked up that was pretty lucky. But yeah, I'm still very happy with the run. Most of my no resets were like round about real time 35, 40, 34 minutes. I hope for a run like against Song. Song I had a 33 real time. But yeah, Plateau was just not heavy.
Yeah, Paraglider in particular was pretty rough with the falling through the roof. It was really cool to see the like latest no amiibo route in the tournament. I think like the other no amiibo runners we've seen have almost all been doing the older route with the RNG banana. So I really like seeing the new strats on display, and you pulled it off very nicely in this run.
Yeah, I'm also I'm a big fan of 6 Ancient Arrows in Ganon fight, so I really was looking forward to that route. And I don't like the midair, so I think this is like I think this is a good route, like midway between old RNG route and like the new 3 Ancient Arrow midair, or like 6 Ancient Arrow route for Amiibo, which is like for beginners maybe a bit more friendly. The jump is kind of tight, like you can get it pretty good like after some practice. It's not that hard anymore.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't do an out of bounds midair, which I hadn't actually seen before, but that's really cool that there's an option not to have to do that. Yeah, well, any thoughts from you two on your runs?
I mean, yeah, it's mostly what I said, but why don't I do so much time at Castle? I'm just looking at my splits now. It was a 7-minute Castle.
Probably the gate, right?
Yeah, gate clip wasn't that bad though. I don't know. Yeah, it was a messy run at points, really clean at points. So yeah,
nice.
I did probably as well as I'd hoped to do, but I'm gonna need to do better because I think my next round match is gonna be a tricky one. And it's still best of ones and lose it back at round 2.
Is it? Okay. I was gonna ask you, right? You're gonna face the loser between Piston and Slyzerua, who are 8 and 9 respectively in the tournament.
So I wasn't supposed to be facing someone that high early on, but I got upset by Stormlight, who ran a really good race against me. So I have to face the consequences.
Well, best
I'm looking
of luck
forward
on
to
that
either
one.
way, though.
Yeah. And ReThorix, unfortunately, you are out of the tournament at this point, but we thank you so much for participating. Any thoughts on the tournament experience overall?
It was my first tournament, and actually qualifiers were my first real races on race time. So I'm pretty happy that I even made it into the tournament. Wasn't thinking that. And playing against Song and playing against Lumina is just an honor for me. It was really fun. I had a lot of fun grinding no resets, just trying to get consistent. So I think tournament is great. I will practice and come back next year. I hope so.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for participating. And yeah, GG's on qualifying.
Definitely seen you improve a lot just throughout this race period. And getting like 33 and 35 respectively in your 2 races is like last year that would have probably got you even further. But the competition's just really hard this year.
Yeah. But also
Absolutely.
GG on your run. It was a lot of fun, and good luck for you, Lumina, going on. Best of luck.
Thank you. I will do my best.
Yeah, well,
But yeah,
thank you to you
that's about
both.
all there is to say, yeah.
And I'll take that as thank you also for Crazy AZ for commentating. And our next race is tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. We have it's going to be Harm Jan versus Daniel and then the next match after that is 1 hour later at 7 p.m. Eastern for Sprinkles versus Dude Nificent.
Yeah, there should both be some pretty good rounds.
I believe we got 3 more runs coming up today, so that'll be pretty cool.
Oh yes, and then at 1 a.m. Eastern we have Crazy right here in commentary versus Tapir, who I saw in chat earlier.
Yeah, got a lot of work ahead of me before that one.
Get some practice in there.
Will do.
Simply get a 28.
Ah, yes. Even that might not be enough, but I would still be pretty happy with it.
Yeah, good luck either way to both
Thank you.
runs.
By the way, a funny joke is last time I did the restream yesterday, I said Dude Nificent's name wrong as Dude Inefficient, and apparently it's been sticking.
That's harsh.
It was not intentional.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, cheers to the restream as well.
Yes,
Thanks
thank you
for the
very much
restream.
for taking it.
no problem. Just my second Breath of the Wild restream. I think it went smoothly. So,
I would agree.
well, GG, and I'm gonna have that wrap us up.